Hello, Flosstube. It's Valerie at Stitching in the Barn. This is my little podcast about stitching and all things creative related. I don't know how to express that. I do whatever I feel like doing, so it's mostly cross stitch, but I do love to do other things as well, as I'm sure many, if not all of you do too. So, hi! It is November the 17th, if you can believe it. I cannot believe it. I think the last time we spoke, I was pretending it was still August because it was actually September. So I missed the entire month of October. I didn't miss it. I was busy, as I'm sure many of you are. I did get to go to my daughter's parents' weekend, which was really exciting. I was very thrilled about that because, as I think I told you, we weren't able to go the last 2 years. First year because of visitors and second year because of the dreaded thing that I won't mention. So they didn't have it, but this year they had it. It was sort of modified because, they had to take precautions. So for instance, we couldn't eat in the dining hall and things like that. But they had a lot of food trucks and you couldn't visit classes. You couldn't go in the dorms, all that kind of stuff. But I understood that that's precautionary. And, this bag doesn't look very nice. I'll show you what's in the bag in a minute. It was just great to be able to see her. We got to meet her roommates. I'd never met them before, and she's lived with them for 2 years or been good friends with them for 2 years. We got to meet her professors and have a sort of outdoor tea. They had a bonfire and we were standing around drinking cups of tea, chatting to the professors. So I really enjoyed it. It was great. And so glad we were able to do that. We came home I said, it smells kind of damp in here. We walked in the house. My son had been home. I shouldn't tell this tale on him, but he had been home taking care of things for us very nicely. But I said, it smells kind of damp. And he goes, yeah, I noticed that or whatever. Or maybe he didn't notice. Anyway, I said, have you been collecting the mail? And he said, yeah, I've been putting it on the dining room table. So I walked in here to this room, which is the dining room. There was a huge puddle on the floor. We had a leaky pipe all weekend, and he had walked in every day and put the mail on the floor and had not noticed that there was a big puddle on the floor. So we now are sporting a big hole in our ceiling because they had to cut in to the ceiling, which is an old plaster ceiling. They had to cut in and look for the leak. And luckily they were able to find it without too much problem, and it's all fixed. But the guy said, you got to leave it open to really let it dry out in there. And of course we have company coming for Christmas, and I don't know. We're not going to get it fixed before Christmas. I know that. My husband is even contemplating, because this is the only room in the house that doesn't have beam ceilings. They covered them up, and he's thinking, well, maybe since we have that hole in the ceiling, we should just pull the plaster down and make it show the beams like everywhere else. So maybe we will do that, but I don't want to face that mess till we can open the windows and doors and have a lot of fresh air with all that plaster dust coming down. So, I think we're going to live with a hole in our ceiling for quite a long time, but what else is new? The joys of an old house. Other things I wanted to tell you about, just some different random things I wrote down, thoughts as they came to me. I'm going to stop apologizing for not ironing my stitching when I show it to you, because I heard somebody talk about this in a lecture, and they said, iron your pieces as little as possible, that the ironing can destroy the fibers. So you don't want to do that, except maybe right before you're going to frame it or finish it. So from now on, I'm going to be wrinkly and proud of it, just like my face. I'm going to just show you what I got, and I stitch in hand, and so it's a little wrinkly. That's okay. I mean, you can see what I'm working on without worrying about it being all pristine. And life is not pristine, and neither am I, and neither is my stitching. So there you go. A little bit of philosophy from me. Thread drops. I would love to participate in that thread drop exchange. And somebody had contacted me and was so nicely going to send me things. I have not got my act together to do it yet. In the new year, that's something I would like to do. And so if anybody wants to trade with me, come the new year, I hope to have some drops that I've figured out what I want to put on them and have printed up that I could trade back. So until then, I'm not going to do it. But I think it's such a cool idea. I love the idea. And I think it's just such a fun, easy way to, share a little friendship with your fellow stitchers. So kudos to the people who dreamt that up. I can't remember if it was Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch, or I'm not crediting the right person possibly, but great idea. Would love to do it, hope to do it, plan to do it. We'll see how it goes. Something that has caught my eye is an Orla quilt, and I intend to do this in the new year. Well, I should really tell you about this when I talk about my plans for next year. But you take low-level background squares, fabrics that don't have a lot of contrast, and you make rows of squares, and then on top of that you applique petals, and I'm hoping to use Liberty of London fabric for all my petals, flower petals and the leaf stems. And it looks like an Orla Keeley quilt, which is why I think it's called the Orla quilt. And I'll have to tell you, I'll have to put underneath the person whose pattern I'm going to be using, and she was sponsoring this stitch along on the internet. And of course I didn't write that down, but I'll credit her here. And show you some pictures of what people have done so you get an idea of what I'm talking about. It just looks like a really fun quilt, and I wanted to do it. I had other things I was going to talk about, but I see I did not bring in my things to show you that go along with those things I was going to discuss. So I'll save that for another Flosstube. This will be a quickie today. I really want to come on here and announce the winner of the giveaway. That was my primary motivation, and to show you some of the stuff I've been working on. And I miss you, so just have a little visit. Somebody had asked, I was talking about my local PBS station sponsoring those talks with the curator of the Jane Austen house and Lucy Worsley. And Lizzie Dunford, sorry. Lucy Worsley is an author. Lizzie Dunford is the person who curates the Chawton House in England. And she had given lists of books that she recommended. Somebody said, well, can you share those with us? And I thought, sure, of course I can. This next one I'm going to tell you about is by Lucy Worsley, and I believe she's got YouTube videos you can watch. And the book is really good, and it's called Jane Austen at Home. And I'm nearly finished it. I've really enjoyed that one. Another one was called Eavesdropping on Jane Austen's England. I read that one. It was Roy and Leslie Adkins. And that was all about life in that time period. So what the social stratosphere was like. Is that the right use of that word? Social stratas. What society was like, and what people wore, and what they ate, and how they conducted themselves. And that was fascinating. I skipped out in the final chapter because it was all about death and dying and death rights. And I'm like, no, not in the mood, not going to read this part. So you will learn as you get to know me better. I live in a little bubble. So, certain things I'm just like, nope, not going to go there. So I did not read the final chapter, but I enjoyed all the rest of the book very much. One I have not read is called High Society in the Regency Period by Venetia Murray. Looking forward to reading that because I like to gather all the information about the time period to better understand the books. So those appeal to me. There's one called Dress in the Age of Jane Austen by Hilary Davidson, which seems fun. You can watch YouTube videos about that as well. There's somebody who shows you how people dressed in those days, and they have a woman come in, and then the maid will come in, their actors will come in and dress her, and you can see all the different layers of clothing that they would have to put on, and the stays and tying up the corsets, and you get a sense of how the silhouette was created. So that would be a fun one. Georgette Heyer's Regency World. I think Georgette Heyer writes some fiction books, but she also has one called Georgette Heyer's Regency World, which I think is more about life in those times. I'm not exactly sure. Jane Austen, A Life by Claire Tomalin. That's supposed to be very good. And then I think this one is called The Real Jane Austen, A Life in Small Things by Paula Byrne, which sounds good. And then as far as fiction goes, there's Miss Austen by Jill Hornby, Pemberley Shades by D.A. Bonavia Hunt, I think it is. And the one that Lizzie Dunfern really recommended was Longbourn, written by somebody named Joe Baker. So there you have the Lizzie Dunford recommended books on Jane Austen and her world. What have I been working on? Well, lots and lots of different things. First thing I finished up, I think, these are not in order, but I did finish up my Laurie Holt So Happy stitch along I was doing with the Fat Quarter Shop. So this will go in my sewing area. It's very bright and cheery. I wasn't thrilled with the way I placed those buttons along the sewing machine, but time has passed and so has my concern. So I'm just gonna call that one finished and leave it as it is. I love all Laurie Holt's cheery patterns. They make me very happy. We've discussed this before, my Jekyll and Hyde personality, how I like prim, but I also like happy. The other one I finished up for Fat Quarter Shop was their Autumn Mystery Sal. And I thought that was cute. This gingham border is beautiful, but they take a long time to do. I changed it because it's charted. You can put whatever you want in there. You could say fall y'all, or you could say autumn, or you could say pumpkin. And I chose autumn. But I thought when it was black, when it was a black sign with white letters, your eye was drawn too much towards it. And I wanted it to be more lighter in colors, more light in colors. So I changed it. Now just looking at it in this camera, I'm thinking, maybe that's too bright. But I like it anyway. I'm not changing it. So that's how I altered that one. Then I got into a very Laurie Breslin Not Forgotten Farm mood. And I did Jack's Jig. Just love him. He is adorable. And not a long stitch. Didn't take me long to do him. I'm doing it on some sort of mystery oatmeal-y type. Looks like Ada. But I love him with his little bittersweet tucked in his hat and everything. So there he is. And the other Laurie Breslin that I did was Matilda Hornbuckle. There she is. In her hornbuckle shoe, I guess. So cute. I just love these. I did it all the called for colors. Mystery piece of linen, some old scrap linen I had. Feels like about 32 count, I think. I just think she's darling. Love her. Can't wait to finish them or get them finished and put them out for Halloween next year. So that was fun. I had ambitions to do a whole lot more Halloween-y smalls, and I only got those 2 done, but I was pleased I got those done anyway. Then I thought, okay, Halloween's over. Time to switch gears on to Thanksgiving. Got to do a quick little Thanksgiving stitch before Christmas comes. So I pulled out this one, which I've been wanting to do for 100 years. Grateful, Thankful, Blessed. Brenda Gervais with I Needle and Thread. And I have done this much. Let me fold it so it looks a little, you can see it at least. Okay. I'm doing this with the called for threads on the called for linen, which is 36 count Ren by Picture This Plus. And it's Weeks, mostly Weeks gloss, some Gentle Arts, some Classic Colorworks. So it's a mix. Actually, there's even some Belle Soie in here. So it's a whole mix, but I'm doing it for the called for colors, except down here, it's supposed to say, you know, grateful, thankful, blessed. the first letter showed, the second letter didn't show, and I thought, oh, can I be bothered sorting through the strands and just using the side that's darker color? No. So then I switched it to, this is like a I think it's 433 DMC, which mimics the darker color, and I could do it all in that. But then I was watching Christy from Crosshatch Quilts, and she did all her letters in this color. And it didn't look too dark on hers. It looked really good. So I'm contemplating whether I'm going to carry on doing the DMC letters, which do show up and they have a kind of a golden tone, or whether I'll just go for the darker color. Maybe I'll do a couple letters of each and then pick. But I thought that was clever, that she just used the other color. So if I do that, thank you, Christy. Okay, what else have I been working on? I've been doing a lot of framing. Disclaimer, not perfect by any means. I can look at them and see where they could be improved, but I'm not going to improve them. I hit a big sale of frames at Michael's, and I got a bunch of frames, and I framed a bunch of stuff that has been hanging around forever. So first up is this one by Beth Twist, Heartstring Samplery. Forget what it's called. I should have put all the names down here, but when in doubt, always buy more linen and thread. 2, stitch all day and absolutely no housework allowed. 3, always start a new project before the last one is finished, requiring your turn to number 1. And you can see by the date, I did this in 2015. So that's been waiting a long time. And I did stitch the backs and everything. I pinned and stitched, which is maybe excessive. I could have taken the pins out and saved them for another use, but I was so excited to get it done. I'm like, nope, just doing it. This is an old, I think this is the Little House Needleworks one. And it has the furry wool for the sheep. Well, some of these I was pushed into framing sooner rather than later because they got wet when the ceiling leaked. And so if you look closely, like the little red hearts have bled a tiny bit onto the sheep, but I'm not soaking it anymore. I'm not going to mess with it. I'm calling this one done as well. Here's an oldie but goodie. I did this in 2018, I think. I can't read my stitching. But I think it's called French Quaker. And I changed the colors on this. And it was Molly at the Strawberry Sampler was responsible for the color change. And I love it, love it, love it. This one's gonna go in our bedroom and remind us of our trip to France that we took that year, which I'm dying to get back to France someday. This one, cute, fun. I think this is a Lizzie Kate. Santa Claus is coming to town. Ready to put out for Christmas. See, all laced, etc. This one, Kathy Barrick, A Bird's Eye View. Love this one. I could only, from Michael's at least, you can only get a frame that's 7 by 7. That's the smallest frame you can do. So I had him do it like this. So this one shows a lot more linen than I usually like, but I like how it looks. I like the frame. I love Kathy Barrick's things, and I'm thrilled to have that one framed. This one you saw before, but I actually laced it. So that was Brenda Gervais with I Needle and Thread. This old cheapy frame, but it looks good in there, I think. I have to get a brad gun or something, and because this one falls out all the time. But it's laced. I did minimal lacing, I will say. If you look, I don't have a lot of lacing because it's also pinned. So I was in a bit of a hurry. This one is an oldie but goodie. I cannot remember who this is, and I showed this to you before once, but I actually laced it now. So it's fully pinned and laced. It's not just propped in the frame. I want to say that might even be a blackbird design. I should know, I'm sorry. I feel like Mama Joan, you're shouting at me through the... Another Kathy Barrick. Love this one. This I want to hang also in my sewing area. thrilled to have this one done. This one was done in time for Halloween. The Prairie Schooler. I like this frame a lot too. And last one, but not least, is this snow guy from Brenda Gervais. And I like this frame because it had a bit of green in it, kind of picked up the green here. This is another one that got wet. In fact, a couple of these are. And some of the color, there was a big blue stain along here from the ceiling dripping on it, but luckily it pretty much came out when I soaked it. A little bit, I think, of the color lightened over here, but I really like him. And I had a dilemma. I was originally going to put him so that he just was peeking on the edge of the frame. And then my husband looked at it and he said, no, it looks weird because you've got so much more showing up here than you did down here. Like I was going to have the snowman just rest right on the edge of the frame. So what I think I'm going to do is put a little bit of a sprig of greenery or something there, maybe a little bow or a sprig of greenery. I think the frame is big enough that it could take a little decoration as well. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to, a little sprig of green and possibly a little bow here or something, or maybe just the greenery. We'll see. So those are my frame pieces. Yay! Yay me! Yay that class I took that showed me how to do it. I don't know if I showed you this before. I finished my Rebecca Smith wool embroidery mat. I've had this out all fall as part of my sort of Halloween decorations. I love, love, love it. I have sent off for and received some ornaments to make of hers. Years ago I had bought mittens to make and I never made them, so I should pull those out and do those for Christmas and the new ornament kits I have. But I just don't know when I'm going to find the time because Christmas is coming, I'm telling you. I have also been working on the Lori Holt Stitch Along quilt, My Happy Place. So I'll show you the blocks I have done for that. I haven't put them together yet, and I am behind. First I was just a couple weeks behind, now I'm more behind, now I have about 8 to do to catch up, I think. But anyway, here are my scissors. These are so much fun. Here's my ball of wool and needles. Here are some random quilt blocks. Oh, the sun is really behind. I'll have to hold a couple at a time. That one and that one. Don't look too close. Those were humdingers. They looked easy and I was going too fast, I think, and they came out kind of wonky, so live and learn. Here are my crochet hooks. Here's a big hunk. I love this one. It's the applique block. I want to do a whole quilt like that, you know, the sort of Pennsylvania Dutch looking blocks. Here's my sewing machine. This one makes me laugh. It's got the little tomato pin cushion on and the spool of thread up at the top. Here are 4 pin cushions, yellow. And I went ahead and put the buttons on these because I thought, I'm not going to send this one out to be quilted. I might just do some sort of quilting myself on this green. If I were going to send it out, I would have left all the buttons off until later. Red and blue. Embroidery scissors. Oh, here's my ironing block. Here's the iron. And I love that cord. Here's the spray bottle. And here's the quilt block, which is on a Lori Holt design board. That's the concept behind that, with the green border. And what else have I got? These are supposed to be fat quarters or just stacks of material that you've laid out contemplating. And you can see I need to go back and iron these from behind before but they're going to be quilted anyway, so I'm not worrying about wrinkles. And a couple more quilt blocks. 1, 2, 3. I'm keeping all those in this cute Lori Holt tin that I have. They work, this works really well. And what I love about this tin is, excuse me, clear lid. Makes it great, because well, you don't know, because I've never shown you because it's such a mess. But my sewing area is a little bit disorganized, and this is helping me get organized. So my goal is to get it organized and show you around in the new year. How's that for a resolution? I bet you've heard it before. I'm working on it. I really am. We do have my nephew coming to spend Christmas with us from London, which I'm really excited about. So I am going to be full mode preparation for that. He's never been to the States before. And, he is same age as one of my sons, and it's a really fun chance for them as cousins to get to know each other and bond. And so I'm very, very excited about that. I cannot wait. But I do want to have everything, ready, food and trips planned and fun things to do and stuff. So I'm going to be very busy doing that. I wanted to show you, I got from the Fat Quarter Shop one of those acrylic boxes that they are selling, which is wonderful. I love it, love it, love it. I'll show you. I only pulled out the drawer because I had it stacked with other boxes on top, and I thought, well, I want to quick show them. It is such good quality. It's really sturdy. You can stack them on top of each other, and it fits. Like here, I put in some of the tiny little triangle papers I have, or you could store your floss drops, more Lori Holt floss drops, or you could do all your cards that you're exchanging with people, or you could do thread. I put a variety of threads in here. Here's Aura floss and just regular thread, and even big spools of thread fit in here. But I think I'm going to use this one for my silks that I have been collecting. I had them all in little bags, and I thought, this isn't working for me, and the bags get moved around and stuff. So if I had them all in one place, I could actually go and choose when I want to substitute. So these are Classic Colorworks Belle Soie. And so what I did was I put all the reds together. I put all the yellows together in one compartment. I put all the greens and the purple, pinks, and the blues in one compartment. And I've got room to expand. So that's how I'm going to use my first box. Anyway, I really think I'm going to be ordering more of these because I think, and being able to see what's in there too is so wonderful. I think it's going to be really, really handy. So I am thrilled to have that. And quilts. I got a couple quilts back from the quilters. So the first one, I don't think I showed you this finished, is my Joanna Figueroa Fig Tree Quilts pumpkin patch quilt. So here it is. This is the backing. Oh, it's up sideways. I love it because it's Halloween without being too Halloween. And it's such bright, cheery colors. I know there were 2 colorways. You could have done this one with the dark gray as a background, which would have been really pretty too. I just love it. I just have to put the binding on it. And I don't know if you can see, the pattern was like leaves. This one was done by Michelle Mason again. And I had said to her, she said, what do you want to put on the front? And I said, I don't know, pumpkins. And she said, do you really want to do pumpkins on pumpkins? How about leaves? And I said, okay. And I'm really happy I did that. Maybe you can see them better here. Not really, but I love it. So pretty. I used it even though it wasn't bound this Halloween, but that's okay. And then I got back my Lori Holt quilt. This is a Missouri Star Quilt Pattern Company pattern. And I had them do the quilting for this. And my son looked at it and he goes, oh, it's an ice cream quilt. And I see why he said that. It's so bright and cheery and colorful, it looks like ice cream. And this one has sort of flower swirls on it. So this is all quilted now. I just have to put the binding on this. So I've got a lot of hand sewing to do between the applique blocks I'm doing and the wool embroidery I'm doing and putting all the bindings on. But I love that. I love to sit in the evening and do that by the fire. And here is the backing. I just chose the big colorful dots, which I thought went with this. So I'm really excited to have this one back. Love it, love it, love it. Cheery, cheery Laurie Holt fabric. So I almost forgot to show you a little bit of haul I wanted to share with you. When I was at the Needlecraft Corner retreat in Baltimore in July, I signed up for a new fabric club, and I'm getting a half yard, I think I'm getting half of 40 count seraphim fabric, which I am absolutely thrilled about. And I just wanted to show you the packaging. Dreama does this. It's her shop in Baltimore, Needlecraft Corner, and it is the cutest thing. This is the one I got in October, and that is called Caramel. It's a gorgeous color. And as I said, it's Seraphim hand-dyed fabric by Laurie, 40 count, 26 by 36. So it is half, and I am thrilled with that. And then look at this one for Thanksgiving. So cute. And I'm saving all these ribbons. These ribbons are great. So I just wanted to show you the packaging because it made me so happy. This one is called Castle Rushes, and it's another half, and it's 40 count. Another gorgeous color. So I am just thrilled with these fabrics. I don't know, they may be full. You could contact Needlecraft Corner and see, but at least you could maybe get on the list for next year if you wanted to join the club. Anyway, I'm thrilled I was able to get them, and something to be thankful for. I know there's lots more I could talk to you about, but I am trying to get this up before another month goes by. I do want to tell you that I pulled the winner for this pattern. Sorry, leaning in your face. Last time I was giving away this pattern, courtesy of the Fat Quarter Shop, Granita, which I said looked like a snowflake, and that was the word you had to use, and this gray bag to keep all your supplies in. And the winner this time is Kathy Eggleston. She said she hoped she didn't see too many snowflakes in December, so Kathy, we'll see if you fish your wish or not. For next time, I want to give away, here I go leaning at you again, I'm sorry. Oops, ding, moving you, I'm leaning into your face, it's terrible. The Fat Quarter Shop sent, lucky me, Laurie Holt planners. So, I know Laurie's going to do a bunch of, or a video about how she uses it, and Fat Quarter Shop's probably going to do that too. It's very colorful, and it's got places to write days of the week, and then it also has the monthly view, and notes on the side, priorities, shopping, health goals, personal goals, more notes. That's for each month. And then you also have, on the actual, when you get into each day of the week, they have little things to mark off if you've drunk all your water that day. And just, it's very, very nicely done. And it's a very sturdy, well-bound planner. And I'm thrilled to have it. And I think maybe I will use this for my planning of quilting and sewing things. I do have the book of days, which I'll do for my cross stitch, but for other sewing and things, I think I will use this planner. But I have one to give away. So if you would be interested in having this planner for the new year, leave a comment and say planner in it. You can just say planner if you want, but don't say contest, don't say giveaway. You know all the rules. You have to be 18, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and I will draw a winner. So that means I definitely will be back to see you in December. In December, I will tell you the things that I neglected to talk about this time, or show you the things that I've been working on, because I have been doing, well, I'll just tell you, I've been doing punch needle stuff too, so I'll show you that. I made a trip to our local store called the Bee and the Bear. It's where I buy wool and punch needle things, and yes, I got a few things. I didn't bring them in here, so I'll have to show you those next time. But I think I'll talk about my 2022 plans. I'm rolling around different ideas in my head of how I want to approach 2022, so we'll discuss that then, and I will announce the winner of the giveaway. So I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. It's just going to be our little family. I'm so excited though, because all the children will be home, which hasn't happened for ages. So we'll have all 3 of them home, and my sister will be over, and maybe some neighbors, I'm not sure yet. So we'll have a little Thanksgiving celebration here, and then before we know it, it'll be Christmas. And this year, because we have my nephew coming, I think I'm going to start decorating much earlier than I usually do. Like, I usually am a wait till Thanksgiving person, no decoration until Thanksgiving's over. And I also wait to get a tree until closer to Christmas, because we always get a fresh tree, and I want it to be as fresh as possible. But this year, I think, with my nephew coming, I want to be ready when he comes. I want to have it all nice, and I want to be able to take my time and not be panicked about things, and I want to have time to gather the food that I want to have, and as I said, make the plans for the trips and the different things we want to do with him. So I might get on that soon, and that's okay. You know, you don't have to do everything the same way every year. I'm learning that. I'm very much a creature of tradition and habit, and I am trying to make myself embrace new ideas. So that's what I think will happen. I will be back sometime in December. I will announce the winner of the giveaway, and we'll talk about what I've decided plans should be. So in the meantime, I hope if you're celebrating Thanksgiving, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope that you are all feeling blessed and provided for, and get lots of fun stitching done. So until next time, I wish you all good things. Bye.